guys are touring?
Playing music, tap dancing for peanuts.
Duane Peters, legendary skateboarder. How long have you been skating?
38 years.
38 years. Duane was doing the loop?
I did the loop.
Back in
78.
78?
Several times.
What other moves?
Smashed several times.
What other moves are you known for?
Am I known for?
Or that you
lay back, roll out. Picky, foot planter, the thruster, few slides. Sweeper, acid drop.
And you're playing with your band?
Playing with my band.
How long have you been on tour?
2 weeks, but it seems like 20 years.
Yeah. And why you like? Where do you live now?
Long Beach.
You like it there?
Uh-huh.
Cool. Back to like punk rock back in the day when you were one of the original punk rockers, especially in skateboarding, and or what has changed since then? Or let me say this: what is punk to you? Because it's very controversial.
Punk is timeless, and skateboarding's timeless for me. Whatever goes on around me, it goes on around me. It always has. I just do what I do. I got lucky and I fell in love with this shit because of the era that I was born into, and I chose to stay there.
So, I don't know, when like back in the night, like 78, punk rock was not very well defined, and it almost seems sometimes like it's going full circle. You know, it was kind of like we're through being cool, and you know, fuck, we need to change right now. Some things need to change. We're tired of you know, the old rock and roll.
Yeah, but you know, things have changed in that essence. A lot of the rock and roll bands I used to hate aren't so bad anymore because it didn't get any better. Used to be a lot more versatility in punk rock. But then again, a lot of people are doing it for a living, and they're, you know, it's the same as it's always been. There's puppets, and then there's people that try to do something original in a non-original thing. You know, it's like what the blues guys say. You know, it's all rock and roll. If you listen to the Pistols now, they sound like a really great rock and roll band. But back then, they were insanely threatening and mouthing off what was going on around them. They were pissed off and singing about a revolution and stuff that seemed like it was going to make a change, and it did for them. But you know, things are worse now than they've ever been. It's more of a reason to be into individualism than ever, because everything's getting squeezed into this
Homogenized. Like there's like a uniform you could wear, you know.
Well, it's not homogenized. It's like it's the world's going down, and everyone's in denial of it. I mean, everyone's going to war, but I mean, our country's in the worst state it's ever been in, and everyone's in denial of it. And the unemployment's bigger than it's ever been, and everyone's in denial of it. And if you look out at these kids, they're all on computers now. There was no computers then. Devo, the Dead Boys, the Pistols, New York Dolls, they're all bands. The Weirdos, I could go through a million of them. Champ 69, Eater, they all sounded different from each other because there was more of a sense of of individualism, even though at that time people were screaming about how all these bands looked uniform, and today it's more uniform than ever, and it's more categorized than ever. So
That's
if
kinda
that
what
makes any sense. I
No,
mean,
that's
there's
totally what I was saying.
50
It's come back
billion
around.
categorizations of punk rock. I mean, and everything's so PC. You gotta watch what you say, or you're gonna get. I mean, the clubs are. It's so hard to tour the States now. It's insane. The late '90s was the last good era of punk rock as we know it right now. You know, emo is real big, and psychobilly's real big in Europe. But that's all right now, and people conform to what's in to try to keep working. But you know, the thing is we're what I'm trying to do is just write records and sing about what's going on around me, and it's up to the band to write the music. And if it's catchy, it's catchy. We try to make it catchy. If there's an audience for it, there's an audience for it. But we're not trying to get on the radio. We're not trying to do anything other than play a club, and that's why I skateboard, because I can do it alone and I don't need a team, and I do them both, and then I work other jobs to be able to do them both, and it doesn't really affect me if I do good in either one of them. I do those for my mental sanity.
So being an individual is
My
important.
mental insanity. What?
So like punk rock and being an individual, at least where your era, my era came from, that's what the message was to me. It was like, be an individual and think for yourself.
Right, read for yourself and try to fucking figure it all out. There's so much bullshit we're fed that you're going to spend your whole life either looking for the truth or just being a robot following what everybody tells you to do.
So don't be a follower.
Well, do whatever you want. It's your choice. It's your life. You can be whatever you want. I choose to pay my bills and to pay my rent and not live on the streets because it's too hard of a life. But for years, that's how I lived, because I didn't want to be a follower and work and all this crap. But I do that now because things have changed. I'm older, and I don't have to work things are different. Everything I do is around skateboarding and punk rock, all my work. So that's nice, and I'm doing what I want to do. I like my work. I didn't want to be one of those guys who was in my 40s with a tie growing out of my neck and not liking my job like my dad. And so that's what I chose to do, rather, because, you know, I chose to die before that, and I was too, I don't know if it was too wimpy or too lucky or whatever, but I didn't officially get killed or anything, and kept on living in kind of in survival crap. And life changes, man, and nothing's etched in stone, and a lot of the things I would have told you 20 years ago are the same as what I'm telling you right now to me, because I think I was right a lot back then. But 10 years ago and 15 years ago, I might not have been right about, you know what I mean, because my toxic spine was full of crap and bitterness, and I'm still bitter, and I'm from a weird era. Most of my guys are dead or fucking lame, or, you know, there's very few that are still the same, you know.
So what the trick is to make your life
There is no trick. I'm still figuring it out, and life isn't over. I'm still going. So
try to make one hand and watch the
there's
other.
no trick. The trick is to do whatever you want to do and try to make this life work for yourself, and have a good time doing it. And if you want to be a robot, you're one of many, and that's what you are, and I think that's great, and more power to you. And my time on the planet is not going to be that much longer in comparison to 100 years. So realistically, I'm trying to have a good time and do whatever the fuck I want to do. And a lot of the things I used to be able to do, I used up all my tokens. So now I've got to fucking live in my own skin, and I'm not fucked up anymore, one day at a time. And life is different, and it's kind of fucking hard to not be fucked up. But you know, by not getting fucked up, I look at the young punk rock stuff we used to do is get hammered and fucked up and fuck everything up. But realistically, we were right where the government wanted me to be. I'm under control, and I was in jail a lot, and I'm lucky I'm not doing life for all the rules there are now compared to what I gotten away with back then. I look at things differently, and I look at it like a super elite Illuminati force that runs our fucking planet, and it makes me pissed off and more aware of it, and I'm learning about it more and more as I don't drink and use drugs and keep singing about what I want to sing about, and learn about what I want to learn about, because I don't see the world the same as I did back then, you know? And I think that most of the fucking world is asleep, most of the world is hammered, most of the world is under control, and nobody wants to look at that. And I think more fucking power to you, because that's where ignorance is bliss, and it's probably a nice place to be, and you'll probably enjoy your life better if you just fall in with the rest of the sheep. Me, I kind of want to learn about it, and I want to be aware, and it gets uglier the more you open your eyes.
All right, that's good.
Peace and love, Bobby Sherman.